Thanks for staying with us. Now, the new legal profession regulation, LI, currently before the Subsidiary Legislations Committee of Parliament, is nothing but a sham and a last-ditch attempt to legalize the law school examination and quota system. This is according to US-based Ghanaian law professor, Professor Stephen Asare. The professor says the attempt by the General Legal Counsel to bring back the examination is wrong, especially since the Supreme Court has repudiated the exam in a ruling this year. Now, let's first of all try and understand what the law seeks to do. We've been joined on the line by leader of the concerned law students who have petitioned against this legislation, Ken Donko. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, good morning, and good morning to your cherished listeners.
Right, so what do we know, first of all, about this LI?
Yes, this is an LI that is sent to the Parliament by General Legal Counsel in an attempt to legalize their illegal action, which was rendered in the case of Professor Asare versus GLC and Attorney General as unconstitutional. And as of now, what they intend to do, as directed by the Supreme Court, that they should put in place mechanism that they think appropriate in order to be able to exercise their mandate under Act 32. Okay. That is what they are doing. But there are some interesting developments that we are not happy about.
What are these interesting developments that you are not happy about?
Yes, the subjectivity of the LI being laid before Parliament. If you allow me to just walk you through.
When you say subjectivity, what do you mean?
The council is trying to arrogate so much power to itself. As the whole issue about the processes of getting into the Ghana School of Law is subject to their discretion. Okay? And if I'm allowed to walk you through.
Yeah, give us an example. Pardon me, Mr. Donko, but for the sake of time, give us an example of this arrogation of powers that the General Legal Counsel is trying to do unto itself.
Okay. Like, for instance, they said for a student holding a law degree to be admitted into the Ghana Law School, to them, if that student is engaged in an occupation which in their opinion, that is in the opinion of the council, is incompatible with the position of a student seeking enrollment, that person is disqualified. Again, they said if that person is refused admission to the school on 3 occasions, it is not that if the person failed to, as it were, pass the said exam and interview that they intend to legalize.
If the person is refused admission, maybe because there are too many people and there are not enough places in the law school.
Yes. They actually make the argument as the fact that they don't have space. That we have provided other alternative means which this, cost
for training lawyers generally. Okay, so Mr. Donko, we have those concerns. Let's put them to a member of the Subsidiary Legislations Committee of Parliament, which is the committee that you have petitioned, Mr. Donko. Ben Ahiafo is a member of this committee. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. These concerns have been raised by Mr. Donko and his fellow petitioners that, for instance, the LI, as it is now, arrogates too much power to the General Legal Counsel. What do you say to this position taken by Mr. Donko?
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity, and let me say good morning to your cherished viewers and then listeners. You see, let me go by stating what is the subsidiary legislation. A subsidiary legislation is a lesser law to a parent act. Now, the Constitution by Article 11 prescribes the procedure for making a subsidiary legislation. Now, there were initial challenges with the procedures for making subsidiary legislation, as a result of which, by practice, we now do what we call pre-laying. That is, before the regulation will be laid in Parliament, and the 21 days will be counted after laying in line with Article 11.7. And after 21 days, it will become law. The Parliamentary Committee on Subsidiary Legislation will meet the sponsors, like in this case, the General Legal Council.
Okay.
Go through the regulation by regulation, which we did going through the regulation from Regulation 1 to Regulation 37.
So you've gone through all these regulations with the General Legal Council.
Now, what a concern that he is raising, for instance, that if a student failed the entrance examination on 3 occasions, that student will not have the opportunity of rewriting the entrance examination. As a committee, we look at it and realize that that will not be in the interest of the students and in the interest of Ghanaians for that matter. Therefore, the committee has proposed to General Legal Council and advised the Attorney General that that aspect of it should be taken out of the regulation.
Right,
So,
Honorable, but Honorable, the whole concept of this law in particular is also being opposed. Because it feels like
the line is faint.
If you can hear me, Honorable, the opinion expressed by these petitioners is not the only opinion against
I'm
this
having
ally.
challenges hearing you clearly.
Honorable, can you hear me? Right, it's a bit difficult to establish contact with the Honorable Ben Ahiafo. He has begun addressing some of the concerns. But we'll go back to Ken Donko for a quick response to what he has heard. Mr. Donko, what the Member of Parliament here is saying is that they are going through the process of making proposals to the General Legal Council to make sure that some of the concerns you have are taken into consideration. Would you be willing to wait for this process? Right. Right, it's getting difficult to hear Mr. Donko as well. So let me go back and quickly wrap up with the Honorable Ben Ahiafo. Honorable, if you can hear me, my question was that some people are opposed to the writing of the examination totally. They feel that immediately after taking their law courses, all the law courses taken in the law school should be taken at the LLB level, and then we simply write a bar exam. This whole thing should be scrapped. What is your take on that?
Hello? I cannot hear you properly.
Right. We are finding it difficult to hear the Honorable Ben Ahiafo. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. You're still watching Joy News Desk. We'll take that story in subsequent bulletins.